Hello, my name is Miriam Abna Adede, and this is the Cocoa Digest Morning Show, making waves on the screen of Clock TV. And if you're commuting, then I guess you're joining us live on Facebook and as well as YouTube. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Now it is time to have our lifestyle conversation. But before that, I hope you enjoyed that beautiful tune from Samini, and he says, no pressure at all, because today we are talking about hypertension. We want to know how lifestyle changes can, affect our high blood pressure or hypertensive stature, and that is the conversation we are going to be having here in the studio. Now, hypertension, often referred to as high blood pressure, is a prevalent condition affecting millions worldwide. Like any other low and middle income country like Ghana, the burden of hypertension has increased significantly in the last decade. Now, of particular concern is the hike in hypertension cases among the young adults in the country. And these people contribute to the working population of the country. And currently, the prevalence of hypertension is reported between 27% and 34%. On average, 1 in 4 adults in Ghana has hypertension. Nearly less than 35% are aware of their status, with only 22% on treatment. Effective management of hypertension extends beyond medication. Lifestyle changes also play a crucial role in, mitigating this critical condition, and that is why this discussion is very, very important. And if you know anyone that has hypertension, you can call the person to join the conversation, because we are going to be exploring the various lifestyle changes that people can adopt to help them live a healthy life. And I'll be doing this with a doctor, and she's in the person of so she's in the person of Dr. Lydia Abna Ansa, and she is a medical doctor. She's going to be doing this discussion with us. Hello, Doc.
Hi, Miriam.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing so well. Right, so we'll be discussing lifestyle changes in hypertension, right? And first of all, let us understand what it means to have hypertension.
Okay. First of all, I want to say good morning to our viewers. Welcome to the show. I'm very glad you've been able to tune in.
Yeah.
We're going to have a very important discussion on
exactly.
hypertension. So, just like your preamble, I think it's a very good one.
Yeah. I just had to put something together too.
I think you've given very salient points about what we are talking about. So, when we say hypertension, what is hypertension? Hypertension is defined as having high blood pressure. That's like the layman thing.
Okay, having high blood pressure.
Okay. And then its definition is when you have a systolic BP of more than 140. 140. And then a diastolic BP of more than 90.
So what's the normal BP that every normal human being should have?
Okay. So first of all, when I say systolic, see when you check your BP, you have 2 numbers that are displayed. The top one is a systolic, the down one is a diastolic. Okay. So when we say normal BP, we are looking at anything below 120 for systolic.
Okay.
And then
120.
Below 80 for diastolic. So some, I think the American Society of Cardiology actually says that when you have BP more than 129 systolic, it's actually elevated. Okay. And then when you have more than 139, that's hypertension.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's very good for us to know our numbers. Yeah. A lot of people do not know, like you said. A lot of our people do not know that they are hypertensive. Yeah. That's one. And even those, maybe they've checked somewhere, they've been told that they have high blood pressure, but they're not really, on treatment.
Yeah, they don't care.
They're not, exactly. Yeah. And then even those who are on treatment, some of them, a lot of them actually are not being treated to target. So it's a real problem, and that's why we are having a surge of cardiovascular. When I say cardiovascular, what I mean is that heart-related, vessel-related, like strokes, heart attacks, heart failures, they're actually on the rise. just because people
do not know. Right. Before we move into the lifestyle changes we can talk about to mitigate hypertension, let's look at some of the symptoms of being hypertensive. So without going to a medical doctor or the hospital, how can a layman know that they are hypertensive?
So it is very important to note that hypertension does not have any symptoms.
Okay.
It is asymptomatic.
Okay.
When you start having symptoms, that is when it means that you have complications as a result of the hypertension.
Okay.
So you need to be checking your BPs. You wouldn't know. When you start having headaches, people say headaches, you have palpitations, that's when the complications have actually started.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you start developing the heart problems, you'll be having the palpitations, fatigability. It can even affect your kidneys.
Yeah.
We know there's surging, kidney-related issues,
exactly,
and we have dialysis all over. So we don't have to wait to start developing symptoms. Get your BPs tested. It's a very simple procedure.
Okay.
You can just walk to a pharmacy. They'll apply a cuff, and you know your BP. It's very simple.
Yeah, right. Now let's start with our lifestyle mitigations. How would you say dietary can help people, or hypertensive people live longer?
So before I delve into that, I want to mention something. So with hypertension, we have risk factors.
Okay,
to hypertension. Among the risk factors, we have those that are non-modifiable, meaning you cannot do anything about it,
them.
like your age. In men, more than 45, in women, more than 55, your risk increases.
Okay.
Also, hypertension is more prevalent in men than women.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. And then family history, when you have a family history, it means you have an increased risk.
Okay.
However, we have the modifiable risk factors, which actually includes diet. Okay. So some of the modifiable risk factors include living a sedentary lifestyle, obesity, taking a lot of salt.
Salt. Okay.
Yes. So some of these things or like not doing any physical activity, no exercise. All of these things are modifiable.
So if I don't do exercise at all, I'm likely to.
You are actually increasing. You're actually increasing your risk of developing hypertension.
Wow. And with the non-modifiable ones, like my mom has hypertension or BP, I'm also likely to get.
So you have the risk, an increased risk. So you need to pay attention to the risk factors that you can modify. Smoking, taking alcohol, all these things predispose you to developing hypertension.
Right. So let's get into the diet. Yeah.
Okay. So there's something called a DASH diet.
Okay. I think we have a picture displayed on the screen.
There is something called a DASH diet. It just simply means dietary approach to stop hypertension.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't know if our viewers can see this picture. It is telling us that we need to incorporate certain things in our diet to help prevent us from developing hypertension. We need to take more vegetables and fruits. We need to cut down on the fatty meals, fried meats and all that. We need to cut down on it. And most importantly, we need to cut down our salt intake. The recommended daily intake of sodium, it's because of the sodium component is salt. Salt is sodium chloride. So you're not supposed to take more than 2 grams or 2,300 milligrams.
Okay, so let's just use our teaspoon or a normal spoon to measure.
That corresponds to 1 teaspoon per day.
Wow.
Of salt.
Okay.
And we know that we are taking a lot.
Of course, because I was wondering the kind of foods we eat. Mostly we don't prepare our own foods. When you come to work, you buy. How are you going to know the components of salt that that food
exactly
has?
That's where the problem lies. Aside buying food, we eat snacks. All these have a lot of salt. The popcorns and the biscuits and the sausages, the processed foods. All of these things have a lot of sodium in them. Aside that alcohol intake, we need to cut down on our alcohol intake, and then the use of sugar. Every meal has sugar. Let's say carbohydrates. Okay, so as much as possible, we need to cut down on added sugar, That's the table sugar that we use.
Okay.
And then also we need to cut down on taking sugary beverages. Like, I don't want to mention specific names, but we know them. Sometimes we just take them as a booster. Maybe if not eating, you want to take something, buy something. All these things give us a higher risk of developing hypertension. So as much as possible, let's try and modify it, eating more vegetables, and then cutting down on our salt
intake. Right.
Exactly.
In your earlier submission, you made mention of the fact that physical activities also, contribute to either having it or not. Now, how would you say physical activities impact our blood levels?
Okay. So earlier I mentioned that living a sedentary lifestyle actually increases your risk of developing hypertension. So it's a well-noted fact and well-researched fact that when you exercise, you actually help to bring down your blood pressure levels. So it is recommended that an adult should have about 150 minutes of moderate intensity. I state again, moderate intensity exercise.
Okay. So
whether you are hypertensive or not.
Okay.
About that will be about 30 minutes a day for about 5 times a week. That's not too much. Yeah. So as much as possible, we need to incorporate this moderate intensity, maybe brisk walking or some swimming, a little bit of jogging, nothing intensive.
I even wanted to talk about walking, because you walk from home to the bus station, you pick a bus, you get to where you have to alight, you walk also to work. Can you consider that as a form of exercise? Not necessarily, being intentional about it.
Yes, the emphasis here is brisk.
Yeah.
That's what makes it an exercise. Anything that makes you sweat. Okay, brisk. Or something that increases your heart rate over a sustained period of time. Those are the things. So you can walk, but if you can maybe increase your pace a little bit, and you can break a bit of sweat, which I don't think a lot of people would want to do early morning whilst going to work. Exactly. So maybe you can try and make some time in the day. 30 minutes is not too much.
Yeah.
Then you can have some form of exercise.
Okay, so aside walking, what else can we do to... Swimming. Okay.
Yes, those who love to swim. It's actually a very great exercise.
Yeah.
Also jogging.
Yes. Okay. That's all?
So, there are a lot of exercises. Cycling.
I know this friend who said talking is an exercise, so...
Oh, for that...
some people talk and actually sweat. Yeah.
Okay. I've never really seen it.
So we have a picture
as
being displayed.
An exercise.
So just as you said, we should take a walk, engage in workouts, incorporate strength training, practice yoga, go for a bike ride, hiking, explore Tai Chi. Wow. Okay.
Anything that can make you sweat.
Get grooving with dancing.
That's also another
I think I like that form of exercise. I mean, I'll be doing something I love to do, so it wouldn't really take much from me. So you've made that known to us.
But I have to also mention that, as I said, it has to be moderate intensity, especially for those who are already hypertensive. There's something called HIIT workout, high intensity training. Those type of workouts increase your BP sharp for a period, and that can increase your risk of getting cardiovascular events like a stroke. Okay. So it's recommended not to do something very high intensity. Sometimes you do some exercise that that your chest is aching. Yeah. It's not recommended. Just moderate intensity.
But you see, there is always a saying that, with exercising, you need to be determined. And so even when you feel tired, you need to continue exercising. You know, there are times you feel that, no, you can't, but your trainer keeps encouraging you. What about that?
It's not about getting tired in the moment. What's most important is the consistency.
Okay.
That's why we say 30 minutes for 5 days. Don't get too tired. Don't go to a breaking point. It should be moderate intensity. It shouldn't be something that gives you chest chest pains.
Yeah, I think this should go out to our gym instructors and self-acclaimed, trainers. They need to really understand what you're talking about because it is very important. Well, if you just joined us, this is the lifestyle segment here on the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. We've been discussing lifestyle changes in hypertension care. And as you know, here on the lifestyle segment, it is all about your health, your life, everything that you need to know to live a healthy life. And that is what we've been doing from the start of the show. Now, we've been discussing lifestyle changes in hypertension care, as I said. And so everything we are talking about is or are things that you can do to help mitigate or curb your hypertensive nature. And so if you just joined us, you can send in your comments to our WhatsApp number, which is being displayed on the screen. You can also call in to ask any question you want to ask. We are also streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, so you can also send us your comments there and we'll gladly read them out. Doc.
Yes.
Right, let me come back to you. So on the issue of hypertension, before we even continue our lifestyle conversation, can you give us an age range, of people that are likely to be hypertensive?
Okay, so with the definition I mentioned earlier, it actually starts from the age of 18.
18?
Yes. Okay. I've actually seen very young people with hypertension. Even it sometimes happens in children, but theirs is mostly a secondary type. Like when I say secondary type, there's a different condition that's causing the hypertension. But in adults, the type of hypertension that is a primary hypertension from 18 years.
Wow.
So you need to know your numbers. Once you're an adult, you should be happy you're an adult.
Yeah.
Yes, it's good, but you need to know your numbers, your BPs, your sugar level, your weight, your BMI. All these things are very important, and they contribute significantly to your health.
Okay. So taking you back to the risk factors, you made mention of two types, the modifiable and then non-modifiable. And the modifiable, you made mention of weight, issues, being obese and other things. Now, how would you say weight management, contributes to hypertension care?
Okay, so obesity has been found to have an increased link to a lot of diseases, not just hypertension.
Okay.
Diabetes, dyslipidemia, that's like problems with your cholesterol level, and even cancers.
Wow.
Yes. So it is very important for us to manage our weight. You need to know your weight, you need to know your height, and that would help you to know your BMI. So your BMI is just a ratio of your weight to your height squared. I'm taking us back to maths. Yes. Yeah. So your BMI gives you an idea of how much percentage fat you have in your body. Just like something to make us understand better. Okay. So a BMI of more than 25, it's a ratio. Okay. So a BMI of more than 25, we want your BMI to be between 18.5 to 24.9. So anything 25 and above, you are overweight. Okay. And then a BMI above 30, you are obese. Wow. Some have BMI more than 40, that is morbidly obese. So we say morbidly. Morbid is like being sick. Okay. So obesity has so many problems attached to it. Yeah. So we really need to actually check our weight.
So assuming someone is just watching us and they don't have to go to the hospital to check the BMI. Okay. And you said it's just calculating your weight to your height. So let's say I know my weight is 75 and I am just, let's say, 4 feet tall. Okay. How am I going to calculate it to know that? Good. Okay. In a layman's, and don't take us into...
I'm not going to take you far. Okay. There's actually a simpler way of actually checking your fat levels. We'll talk about that very soon. But then you need your weight in kilograms, like you said, 65. And then your height in meters. Okay, not in feet.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say a weight of about 61 and a height of 1.60 meters. The BMI falls around 22. Okay. Which is ideal weight.
Okay.
So you can actually also check your waist circumference.
Okay.
Okay, so
you use a tape measure.
A tape measure, you can just get a tape measure, the ones the seamstresses and tailors use. You just wrap it around.
So for clarity's sake, we had a picture displayed on weight management, and we are also talking about how to calculate your BMI. So don't get confused. She will get back to you how to manage our weight. She's just briefly, taking us through the calculations.
Yes. So our waist circumference is also a very important one. It's just a circumference. It should go above your navel towards your back and back.
Okay.
It shouldn't be very tight.
Okay.
Like your finger should be able to go under the tape. And for women, your waist circumference is supposed to be more than 80 centimeters.
Okay.
And for men, it shouldn't be more than 94 centimeters. So just check yourself. If you are above that range, you need some work to be done.
So if you are overweight, then it means you are safe. But if you are getting to obesity, then
overweight, you are not safe.
You are not safe.
You are not safe.
Okay.
You are not safe.
You are just in the process of getting into. Okay.
Exactly.
Right. So we have a comment here, a question actually. This is from Ikria Loretta, and she's asking, how do I prevent BP after childbirth?
Okay. So this will take me to a different topic.
Exactly.
Actually, altogether.
Yeah, but if you can, briefly give us an answer, but if you can't, we move on.
Yes. So there's a condition called preeclampsia.
Okay.
Actually seen in pregnant women who have gone beyond 20 weeks of gestation. Okay. Preeclampsia is when they have high BPs, just like the range that we are talking about. Okay. Preeclampsia actually works a bit differently. Okay. The risk factors, yes, it's a form of hypertension, but it actually works a bit differently as compared to the essential hypertension. So we find most women who were hypertensive during pregnancy, which we call preeclampsia, after pregnancy and after 6 weeks, their BPs, by then their BPs would have gone back to normal. So that is just a pregnancy associated BP. Okay. But we find some people after the 6 weeks, they still have the high blood pressure.
Yeah.
In that case, it's a chronic hypertension. Okay. Yes, it actually came maybe during your pregnancy, but you are still having the high BP. That actually tells us that you may have had a hypertension before the pregnancy. Or before the 20 weeks, but you were not aware. So the prevention is just like what we've talked about. Having BP after pregnancy beyond 6 weeks is just the same as what we've talked about, the chronic hypertension we've talked about. So you go by what we are talking about. The weight management, the diet, exercise, essentially it's all that. It's the same thing.
So we have another question here, and this has to do with the intake of alcohol. The person is asking, so should we stop taking in alcohol so we can prevent getting hypertension? I don't want to mention the person's name.
Oh, so it's fine. Yeah. Okay, I think I actually have a picture.
A picture on that. Producer, if you can display the picture for us on the intake of alcohol. The consumption of alcohol.
It is actually recommended. There's something called a standard drink. Okay. You can take some alcohol, but it's supposed to be within the standard limits. Okay, I'm waiting for the picture.
Okay, but you can keep talking.
So for a woman, you're not supposed to take more than one standard drink. Okay, and for a man, you're not supposed to take more than two standard drinks.
Okay.
So let's take a beer. Okay, just normal beer. A standard drink of a normal beer is about 375 mils. A beer of about 4.5% alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not supposed to take more than 375 for a woman. But for a man, that's like 2 times.
So my concern is why are men allowed to take 2 and women just 1?
Our bodies
because you made mention of the fact that they are also, likely to get hypertension
Yes.
as compared to women.
Yes.
And looking at the intake, they also take higher than women. So why?
Our bodies are actually different. Our physiologies are different. So actually, these figures are actually backed by research. It's not just things we are saying. They're actually backed by research.
Okay.
Also, when we take a very hard liquor, like the strong ones, like whiskey, let's say whiskey, something like whiskey, a standard drink is just 30 mils of that.
Okay.
So you're not supposed to take more than 30 mils of whiskey. That's very small, like a shot.
Wow.
And men, you can take like 2.
Yet we have, a lot of guys taking in so many. Okay, so I think we have the picture here. So on the issue of whiskey, you go to parties, clubs, and other things, and then you see people take them like water.
Yes. It is actually very sad. Aside hypertension, alcohol actually predisposes you to getting other conditions.
Yeah.
There's something called alcoholic liver disease, and it's actually on the rise. We see a lot of people coming in with, like, let's say, destroyed livers just because of alcohol. It is a real problem, and it's so interesting to see that this drug is legal, but it's causing a lot of issues. You can't tell someone to stop taking alcohol just like that. There's some other ones, yes, they can take up to a certain limit, but we need to be very careful. Alcohol can actually be addictive.
Yeah.
So you start small, and you develop some tolerance, and the effects that you used to get with a particular amount, now you have to increase it to get that same effect. So that's where the problem lies. We just have to be very extra cautious.
Right. So we have another question here. This is from Kwame, and he's asking, how do smoking, cessation, and hypertension relate?
Okay, so we're actually going to talk about that one.
Okay.
Yes, so smoking, by research, has been found to actually cause an increase in hypertension.
Wow.
Not only hypertension, I have to say, I believe you've discussed this on one of your shows. Yes. Smoking increases your chances of getting cancer.
Lung
Not
cancer.
only lung cancer.
Kidney.
A lot of them, okay? So obviously when you are able to stop the smoking, it actually reduces your risk of getting hypertension. And also, if you're already hypertensive, actually that's reduce your blood pressure levels. When it comes to smoking, just like alcohol, there's an addiction component to it. Okay, and there's help. I must say there is help. There are good resources available in our mental health institutions to help you to cut down on your smoking. Okay, so if you are struggling, my viewers, if you are struggling, I think you shouldn't be in despair. There's actually good resources available for you to help you to stop smoking.
Right. So we'll be wrapping up shortly, but let me ask you on the issue of stress. Okay. Stress. Do you think stress also contributes to getting hypertension?
Very much. This is not talked about so much, but stress does it a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we say stress is simply your body's reaction to a stimulus, a harmful stimulus, or a challenge. Okay. Just imagine meeting something scary. In that moment, your heart starts beating fast. Your blood pressure goes up. You start breathing fast. It's like you either run or you fight that thing. That is what we are actually subjecting ourselves to when we are constantly stressed. And it is so sad that in this age, our jobs especially are demanding so much from us. We need to work a lot to keep up, and we are constantly under stress. Exactly. It is not being talked about so much. So in that moment where your blood pressure has gone up, your heart rate has gone up, you are constantly doing this to yourself. So all the time, your heart rate is up, your blood pressure is up. What stress also does is that there's a release of some hormones we call catecholamines. So I'm sure we've heard adrenaline. Adrenaline, example of that is adrenaline. It causes an increase in blood pressure. And also there's a hormone called cortisol. We usually call it the stress hormone. Okay, cortisol can increase your blood pressure, increases your blood sugar levels, actually contributes to weight gain as well.
Right.
Okay, so stress does increase blood pressure.
Wow. So we've, okay, so I think we have a question here. This is from Amma, and she wants to know, why does my body itch when I'm exercising? Okay, I think it has to do with when we're talking about the exercise. Yeah, but she's asking why her body itches. I think that has to do with...
Amma wants special consultation.
You'll have to see Doc, later
in chambers.
In chambers, yes.
Yes.
But we've been talking about lifestyle changes. Doc, lastly, do you think there are some challenges that people face when they are adopting to, these lifestyle changes?
Oh, yes.
Briefly,
yes,
just
very much.
Tell us.
Very much. Just like any change, when you're making changes, sometimes your body just doesn't allow you to do it. Like cutting back on the sodium intake.
Yeah.
Initially, it's going to be difficult.
It's true.
You are not going to taste your food as used to, but if you persist,
it's going to help you.
It's going to help you.
And those that are taking alcohol, the smoking, if you persist, it's going to...
And with help.
With help. Okay. Doc, your last words.
Okay, so my last words is hypertension is actually increasing. It's on the rise. Just like Miriam said, the prevalence in 2021, the prevalence was about 13%. Now we are looking at somewhere 27 in the 30s. So it is on the rise. But it is quite unfortunate that a lot of people do not even know their status. And then they are developing complications as a result of this. So I would encourage you, know your numbers.
Yeah.
Get to know your blood pressure. Get to know your weight. Get to know your blood sugar levels. All these things are creating a lot of complications for our patients. And I do not want you to find yourself in those shoes.
Right.
Thank you.
We all here do not want you to find yourself wanting when it comes to issues of hypertension. And that is why we had this very important discussion here on the lifestyle segment. The Cocoa Digest Morning Show. And we discussed lifestyle changes in hypertension care. And I did this with Dr. Lydia Abna Ansah. And she is a medical doctor. And she just did justice to the topic. Right. So we have our birthday segment coming up next. I am Miriam Abnadide. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
I heard today was your birthday. I heard today was your birthday. I heard today was your birthday.
Right, so you're welcome back. Now it is time for us to, celebrate some amazing personalities as we always do on the show. We are starting off with our first birthday celebrant. Our first birthday celebrant. Can we have the picture displayed? Okay, so this is from CIBC Awana Leaders. And they're saying a happy birthday to an inspiring leader and an incredible coach. Your dedication, passion, and unwavering support have been instrumental in helping our team or organization reach new heights. You push us to be our best, challenge us to grow, and always lead by example. Your guidance and mentorship have truly made a lasting impact. Wishing you all the best on your special day, and may the next year be filled with continued success, fulfillment, and joy. Cheers to you, Betty Fritzwa. Okay, and this is to Eric Odame. A happy birthday to you, Eric Odame, CEO of Felix Annan Fan Club and PRO of Best okay, the Football Academy. Eric, sorry for not getting the name right. We wish you a happy birthday. This is from John to Isabella, and he's saying a happy birthday to a truly magnificent leader. Your leadership is second to none and so very inspirational. May your birthday bless you with all the courage and strength you require to continue performing your role as outstanding as you do. And this is also from Bevelyn to Jayana. She's saying a happy birthday to an incredible woman who transformed my life with her makeup skill and wisdom. Because of your guidance and belief in me, I am thriving in a career I love. May your day be filled with as much joy and beauty as you've brought into my life. Here is to many years of inspiring others as you've inspired me. And this is from Eunice to Beliada. Okay, so wishing you a wonderful day and a year filled with blessings. Happy birthday, my dearest Beliada. This is from Clock TV to Joyce. Happy birthday, Joyce. May the year ahead bring everything you've been working towards. We pray that God blesses you with all the good things in life, health, wealth, happiness, and success. May your dreams come through, and may you achieve all that you set out to do. Okay, happy birthday, my sweet mother-in-law, Mrs. Lydia Tete, popularly known as Sister Happy at Tetekwashi Memorial Hospital, Ekuapem Mampong, from your son and daughter-in-law, Mr. and Mrs. Asamwa. A happy birthday, Mrs. Lydia Tete. And this is also from Jay to Patrick. Happy birthday to you, Coach Bakupe. Praying that you will continue to grow from grace to grace and that the love you have for God's children will never leave your heart. God richly bless you. This is also from John to Ernest Kojo Yupo. I hope your birthday is as incredible as you are. You deserve the best, my friend. I'm wishing you the happiest of birthdays as you complete yet another wonderful trip around the sun, my friend. Okay, and we also have a birthday message here. Happy birthday to my baby boy. You brought so much joy to your brothers and I. God bless your new age. Much love from your family and mom. Na Amankwa Evelyn. Thank you so much for bringing in your birthday messages on today's show. Right, so this is where we end the lifestyle and birthday segment here on the Coco Digest Morning Show. I am Miriam Abna Adede. Please stay with us. Clement Yaban Kwe is up next with business.